About 80% of homes in the GTA are selling for below the asking price. Here's what's actually happening in the market. Hi, I'm Alex, and I've been selling real estate in the Peterborough and Kawartha Lakes area for about the past 5 years. And if you're a future buyer or seller in this area, today I'm going to talk to you about what's actually happening in the market so you can get the best price for your current or future home. But before we start, I want to say that I appreciate you watching this. If you learned something new today, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe button down below. And if you're interested in booking a call with me, you can click the first link in the description. All right, let's hop into it. In August, there were 89 sales in the city of Peterborough, and only 13% of those properties sold for above the asking price. And only 3 properties sold for more than $10,000 over the asking price. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The asking price is just a marketing strategy. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what the property's worth. Let me explain with an example. So there was a property that sold in August, and it had been listed since May. It started at $650,000 and then dropped to $600,000 and then dropped to $500,000 with a 48-hour irrevocable, and finally sold for $545,000 in the month of August. Now, it did sell for more than the asking price, but it didn't necessarily sell for more than it was worth. The $500,000 asking price with a 48-hour irrevocable was just a marketing strategy to help the seller achieve the $545,000 purchase price they were looking for, but couldn't get when they were listed at $600,000. So how did they do this? Well, they did this by underpricing the property, for listing the property for less than they thought it was worth, and then adding something called a 48-hour irrevocable. So what does this mean? Well, basically the irrevocable is the length of time that the seller has to decide on an offer. So if a property has a 48-hour irrevocable requested by the seller and an offer comes in on Tuesday, basically they don't have to respond to that offer until Thursday. Now, in the Peterborough Kawartha Lakes area, what we see is 48-hour irrevocables, 24-hour irrevocables, and 72-hour irrevocables. 72 hours are typically common with estate sales. 48 hours are common because it basically creates an offer presentation without sort of stating that they're presenting offers, which may in fact scare away some buyers. 24-hour irrevocable, you might see when somebody has, a nursing shift. That's what we'll see typically, is if, somebody works in healthcare, one of the sellers, and they have a strange schedule where they have to work nights, they'll request a 24-hour irrevocable. All of these strategies can basically lead to multiple offer situations, but it depends on the property, which brings me into point number 2, holding offers versus irrevocable. What we're seeing in the market is properties that are holding offers do sell for above the asking price, but it's because they're dramatically underpriced. And typically we'll see them holding offers generally under $500,000. So if there's a property that's, let's say, a $450,000 house, they'll list it at $399, hold offers. They'll get 3 to 5 offers on offer day. Generally, that's what I see is pretty common, and they'll sell for maybe $450 to $460, depending on how much interest there was on the property, how many people came through that property. Obviously, it's based on the situation, but we'll see properties that are holding offers generally if they're a distressed property. One of the 3 properties that I mentioned that sold for over $10K over the asking price was holding offers in Peterborough in August. The other 2 properties had 48-hour irrevocables. So both strategies do work. It just depends on the property. But again, only 13% of the properties that sold in August sold over the asking price. The majority of them sold under that asking price. So now let's go into what you can do as a buyer or seller in today's market to get the best price for your home. As a seller, it depends on your property type. If you are a distressed property and it's an estate sale, or it's something where everything is as is and it's a distressed property and you're comfortable listing it a little bit lower, maybe because you don't have a mortgage on it, maybe the family lived there their whole lives, passed away, and now it's an estate sale. There's no mortgage on the property. You're okay to underlist it and see what you can get for it. That'll work if your property is generally worth under $500,000 and it's in a good area. Now, adding an irrevocable. This can also work if you slightly underlist the property, but it can also backfire where you only get one offer on the property. So you want to make sure if you are adding a 48-hour irrevocable that your pricing strategy is correct. Okay, so now on the buy side, how do you get a good price for the home you're hoping to purchase? Whether it's your first home, your second home, your third home, fourth home, whatever it is, here's how you get a good price. Generally, buyers seem to attribute any money off the asking price as being a good deal, but that's not necessarily true. If a property has been listed for more than 30, 60, 90 days, most likely they have had a price reduction. Watch for that price reduction. If they haven't had a price reduction, then potentially that's going to be a seller that's stuck on their original price from 90 days ago. If they have had a price reduction, watch for those properties that have had a price reduction, have been on the market for over 60 days. That means that other buyers might not be looking at it. Again, to get the best deal on a purchase, you want to be the only buyer offering on the property. Once you get into competition, emotions get involved, and that's when the property can sell way over that asking price, or even just over that asking price. Well, that's all for me. I hope that helped you get a little bit more inside knowledge into what's happening in the Peterborough real estate market. Thank you for watching the video. And if you like this video, you might like the video I made on the top 5 restaurants in Peterborough, Ontario. Click here to check it out. Take care.